Harley Quinn returned this week to the DC Universe app with a brand new episode entitled Die Hard. I'm Cave Joel, and this is the video series where I give my thoughts and feelings on the episode that was, as well as shouting out any comic book Easter eggs I can find. So with that out of the way, let's get to it, shall we? So, as we join the episode, Harley is returning home after the emotionally shattering experience that was Poison Ivy's bachelorette party. She tries to not show too much emotion in front of King Shark and Clayface, but actually does open up quite a bit to Cyborgman. Of course, Harley being Harley, she takes all the wrong advice from Cy's pep talk and figures the best way to get over Ivy is to get under someone new. Sadly for her, pickings are slim as all she finds is John Mayer fans at the Wayne Tower bar. That is, of course, until Harley has an unforeseen reunion with the Joker, or at least the normal guy the Joker has become following his memory loss. Now, while we're on the subject of bad things from Harley's past, elsewhere in the city we see Commissioner Gordon and the cops are still battling it out with the ParaDemons that Harley helped bring to Earth and then just kinda sorta forgot about. Batman does his part by sending the Batwing to help out, but Jimbo quickly becomes disillusioned when he realizes Batman doesn't trust him enough to fly the thing, only to press the same button over and over again. Also, Alfred's maybe only in this episode for 5 seconds, but him blowing on Batman's tea is still probably one of the funniest visual gags I've seen in a while. This episode also just so happens to see the return of Dr. Psycho, who walked away from the crew in a major huff when Harley blew her, and by extension his last chance to try and really conquer the world. And all this time later, it seems that he's 100% sticking to his guns, even removing the last of his stuff from the crew's lair, but more on this later. Harley knows full well that sticking around the Joker in any form is probably a bad idea for her. She's grown that much at least, but when she attempts to leave, she ends up getting met by a group of heavily armed crooks looking to take over the building. Yes, that's right, everyone. D-Y-E Hard is a parody of Die Hard. Right away, I got a real good laugh at all the rich, well-connected people in Wayne Tower wanting to give the robbers everything they want right away without even having to deal with the police as middlemen. Also, to see these guys crawl over Wayne Tower and run into all sorts of crazy R&D gadgets, the standout being the cancer ray, is probably going to be a one-off gag that's going to be hard to top. The goons end up handcuffing Harley and the Joker together, which means if our hero wants to escape, she's got to literally drag him along, and everything out of his mouth is just so lame and so milquetoast. And yet, every so often under pressure, you do see glimpses of the old Joker once again, like when he stabs a man in the eye with a pencil. Clearly has to be some sort of callback to Dark Knight, right? Furthermore, wouldn't you know it, but mind-wiped Joker actually turns out to be a really good listener and allows Harley to bare her soul to somebody. Why, she even eventually admits that getting into crazy shenanigans like this are probably exactly why Ivy was afraid to commit to an actual romantic relationship with her in the first place. Eventually, we discover that the Hans Gruber for this group of armed robbers turns out to be the Riddler, who got jacked, brother, from all the time powering Harley's hideout. I like all this too from a character point of view as well, because we're basically saying that Nigma outlasted all the other members of the Injustice League because, well, he was smart enough to keep his head down and bide his time. But wait, there's more. After Harley gets backed up by the crew and Gordon makes the scene too to try and save the day himself, we realize Riddler wasn't working alone. He's actually struck up a deal with Dr. Psycho to steal a special helmet that will boost Psycho's own psychic powers, allowing him to take control of the ParaDemons. Let us not forget that it was Riddler's goading of Psycho saying that he was a shadow of the supervillain he once was that really contributed to this heel turn. Well, double heel turn, I guess. As Harley is quick to point out, Psycho basically just stole her plan from before, and again, hats off to the characterization. If anyone was gonna betray the team, it was gonna be Psycho. He has a literal small man syndrome, combined with the fact that he is comics' original card-carrying misogynist who probably always hated working under a woman. So parademons are tough as we've seen before, but they're far from invincible, especially with such heavy hitters like King Shark and Clayface on Harley's side. They probably could have taken them all out together. But that's all before Psycho does probably the most evil thing we've seen in the show for a very long time, and that is use his mind powers to take control of Clayface and King Shark to turn them on Harley. With victory no longer an option, Harley and Gordon have to try and escape, which they can only do after Cyborgman is willing to heroically sacrifice himself to make it opening in Psycho's portal. Though he does give Harley a little parting gift, which makes me wonder if they can just back Psy up somewhere. Man, you know, between this and the last episode, poor Harley really can't catch a break. This must be her at her lowest point, right? But maybe there is some hope. If Harley can't beat these villains on her own, maybe the Justice League can. The only problem is only the Joker knows where the Book of Fables actually ended up. So in order to save the world and her friends, Harley must see that the Joker lives again as the episode comes to a close. And so that was Die Hard, an episode filled with a lot more classic comedy shenanigans than the previous two episodes, which buckled down and did a lot more heavy character lifting. That being said, this episode comes packing a lot of really solid jokes and payoffs to storylines that have been running, since the end of the first season. There also certainly has to be something said about Harley wanting to save the city and her friends so badly from a threat that, let's face it, is pretty much entirely her fault at this point, that she's willing to bring back the Joker to do it. You have to wonder if a certain green somebody out there will see this as a sign of genuine growth or not. Overall, another pretty damn fine episode. So until then, everyone, this has been Cave Joel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, why not follow me on social media so you always know when a new video is dropping. You could also always subscribe or tell your friends, which would be much appreciated by me. So until we meet again, everyone, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.